rock, right? Um, so first, to understand it, let's talk about Earth. It is a place where we live, and it is the third planet from the sun, right? And it is made up of
Yes.
various layers, and each layer of Earth has different physical and chemical characteristics. And there are many features on the Earth's surface, and these features are called landforms. Um, we'll talk about landform in detail. And there are many factors like wind, water, chemicals, and deposition that shape the land. Um, like each sedimentary rock on the earth is formed by weathering and erosion and deposition. A sedimentary rock is made up of sediment layers, and under pressure, it like there are lots of layer, and they make a rock. So they are formed through these processes: weathering, erosion, and deposition. Let's talk about them one by one. So, weathering is the formation of sediment which is caused by wind or water or tearing of pieces of rock by ice or by some biological activities or breaking at a rock. So, weathering means breaking down of the material. Like there is a rock. Um, so, it is when it is broken down into smaller pieces, that is called weathering. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it is done by wind, water, or ice. So you can see there is a rock or a mountain um, which is breaking into smaller pieces, right, and flowing with the water or here with the help of wind, right, and this is called weathering. Then erosion is the movement of these sediments, these tiny pieces from their point of origin. This is the point of origin, and from they are moving from this point with the help of wind or water to some other place. This is called erosion. Erosion means movement of sediment. It can be because of gravity, like here there is a slope, right? It is a steep, so it will go downward because of gravity, right? Or it can go by wind or water, right?
Yeah.
Then third step is deposition. Deposition means by which these sediment are deposited as a result of their movement or erosion method. Like at the end, they like they are depositing here to a new location, right? So this is called deposition, which makes sand dunes, like dunes, New Island. So these are the three processes how every sedimentary rock on Earth is formed with the help of these three processes. First is weathering, which is breaking down um, this rock into sediments. Then this sediment is moving, which is called erosion, to a new place, and at new place they are getting deposited, which is called deposition. Is this clear?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So why it is happening? Because of wind, water, or ice. Erosion again take place because of wind, water, or gravity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I'll ask lots of questions, so be ready. You need to, if you don't understand anything, you can ask me, okay?
Okay.
Weathering is the breakdown of rocks or minerals on the Earth's surface, and it can be done by water, ice, acids, salts, plants, animals, or temperature change. So it can be done because of biological activity. Um, so, like biological activity means uh, it can be done like breakdown of rock can be caused by living organism. Okay, for example, plant roots. Root grows into the crack in rock, and as the root expand, they exert pressure and they break rock apart. Okay. or because of microorganism like lichen or mosses. They produce acid that chemically dissolve minerals in rock, which make rock weak and it break into pieces, which is called weathering. Or it can be because of animals like burrowing animals like earthworm or rodents. They disturb soil and they expose rock to air and water, which speed up weathering. Or it can be because of human activities like farming, construction, mining, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all breaking down of rock because of living an organism. It can be because of plant roots, animals, human activity, microorganism. This is called biological weathering. What it is called?
Biological weathering.
Yeah, it is done because of living organism. Okay, and so other type of weathering is physical weathering, which involves mechanical force like wind or water. Okay, and the
Mm-hmm.
third type of weathering is chemical weathering, which involves a reaction with acid or oxygen, like because of acid rain. So, which is a chemical which is formed because of chemicals, sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxides or nitrogen dioxide, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, after these rocks are broken down into pieces, they transport to a new location, which is called soil erosion. And these fragments, these pieces of rock, which are called sediments, are moving into a new place, which is called soil erosion. So, there is no rock on earth that is strong enough to withstand the forces of weathering and erosion. Okay, this process, these processes, when they are combined, um, carved landmarks such as Grand Canyon in the US state of Arizona. So this massive canyon stretches for, this is 446 kilometer, which is really long, and its width is 29 kilometers, and it is 1600 meters deep. This canyon, how it is formed? Because of weathering, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And um, basically, it is because as I explained, weathering can be done by wind, water, ice, right? So canyon is like, this is called canyon, which is deep narrow valley with a steep sides, and it is carved by erosive action of river, right? You can see in the in between there is a river which may be flowing over millions of years, and because of this power, because of weathering erosion, like this is the mainly because of river erosion, right? Because flowing river cut into rock layers and gradually it deepen the valley, right? So this is the picture of Grand Canyon, which is in USA. Okay, there are lots of canyons which are very deep and they are formed mainly because of river, right? Clear?
Clear.
Good. So you can see how strong this force is, how strong it is. It can make like a huge difference. It can make a whole new landform, right?
Yeah.
So weathering gradually erode exposed surfaces. The length of exposure frequently influence how vulnerable a rock is to weather. Rocks that are suddenly buried underneath other rocks like lavas, they are less prone to weathering. And erosion that rocks erosion and then rocks that are exposed to agent like wind and water, they, they are less prone, right? I mean, they are
Mm-hmm.
more prone because they are exposed to wind and water, right? And wind and water cause weathering, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. So weathering is frequently the like first step in the formation of soil because it smoothen rough, sharp rock surfaces. So weathering is a process of soil formation. Okay, and
Uh,
weathered materials from a collection of rocks are richer in mineral and they contribute to fertile soil because it has minerals. Okay,
Yeah.
so there are different types of weathering. I was talking about this. Now let's see in detail. It can be physical, chemical, or biological. Physical, mechanical weathering is it is also called physical. Physical or mechanical is same. Um, so rocks crumble as a result of physical weathering, and when weathering is done by temperature, pressure, frost, root action, or burrowing animals, so water with like whether liquid or solid, water is a common mechanical weathering agent. For example, liquid water, it can go into the cracks and gaps in the rocks, and water will freeze if temperature fall low enough, right? And water expand when it freezes. And ice then functions as a wedge, and it gradually enlarge the crack and it split the rock into pieces. And when ice melt, liquid water erodes by carrying away tiny rocks or fragments, which is called erosion, right? So this process is called weathering. Okay, mechanical weathering, here you can understand with the help of this example. There is a rock crack, okay, and water is collected here inside it. Let's say because
Yeah.
of drop in temperature, water freezes, and as it freezes, it expands. It will apply forces on the crack, and the crack will become wide. It will widen, and ice, um, it will go deeper and deeper as it becomes wide. And repeated expansion, it will break rock apart, right?
Yeah.
Clear? This is an example of mechanical weathering by water. Now, temperature variation can also add to mechanical weathering because of temperature differences, which is called thermal stress. Um, so, temperature change cause the rock to expand and contract because as the temperature increase with heat, it will expand, and as the temperature drop with cold, because of cold, it will contract. So, this expansion and contraction take place, and the structure of rock it will weaken as this occur repeatedly, expansion, contraction, and it crumbles over time. So wind's physical force carve and remove the loose rock because they become loose because of contraction and expansion. Because of wind, they will get like they will break into pieces and erode. So wind forces carry small particle and rock, and they collide with the rocks and and wear them away. So, effects of wind on physical or mechanical weathering are common in desert sandstorms. Okay, and then plant and animals. So,
Mm-hmm.
mechanical weathering agents include plants and animals also. A tree, like here you can see a tree seed, it may germinate in the soil that has accumulated in a cracked rock. Let's suppose there is a crack, and inside crack there is soil and there is a seed. So, a tree will germinate, right? And as the
Mm-hmm.
root will spread, the crack will widen and ultimately it will break rock into fragments, right? So, even
Mm-hmm.
large rocks can be broken down by trees over a long period of time, and even small plants like mosses, they can grow and develop tiny cracks. And then uh, like this animals which burrow, um, the earthworms are also these, they also do weathering. Then chemical weathering is when molecular structure of rock and soil is altered by chemical weathering. So it occurs in iron containing rocks, and these rocks rust due to process known as oxidation, right? Because we know minerals are found in
Mm-hmm.
some minerals are found in rocks, and iron is one of them which is found in rock. And rocks which contain iron, um, they go in oxidation. It causes rusting, right? right? So rust is a compound
Mm-hmm.
formed when oxygen and iron, when oxygen which is present in air, it react with iron in the presence of water or moisture. It causes rusting, right? And what it will do, it will weak, and when the rock will rock will weaken, rock will become weak. It helps breaking up rock as it expands, which is called chemical weathering, because rusting is a chemical process, or oxidation is a chemical process, right? Oxidation
Mm-hmm.
means in the presence of oxygen, when oxygen is added. Chemical weathering, one more example is, so when carbon dioxide is present in the air, it gets dissolved in rainwater, and chemical reaction take place, and it forms when carbon dioxide and it react with some chemical, it form carbonic acid, and it is a very weak acid that react with limestone. So if water with carbonic acid gets percolated into the ground that consists of limestone, then the limestone dissolved in the water and gets carried away by the flow of water. Like here you can see. Okay, so over a period of time, this process forms a cavern. Like here you can see. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
again, this is an example of chemical, because it is formed. It is happening because of chemical reactions, right? Next is biological weathering. Uh, so both processes can include biological weathering, in which living or once living organism contribute to weathering. Like this is a living organism which is contributing to weathering by burrowing, right? So erosion and
Mm-hmm.
deposition. So far we talked about different types of weathering: chemical, mechanical, biological, right? Um, Now erosion and deposition. So we learned that breaking down of rock is weathering, moving pieces of rock into new location is erosion, depositing those pieces of rock into a new location is called deposition, right? And that's how soil is formed. So erosion and deposition, these are the process that alter the appearance of the earth's surface over time. They can change the appearance. They can have a large impact, like we have seen this image, this, right? You can see the
Mm-hmm.
impact of weathering, erosion, and deposition, right? This is mainly because of
Yeah.
water. So which is a type of new landform, right? The appearance is different. So
Yeah.
these processes can form a new landform, which is a different type of landform, and they can change the appearance of earth, or earth surface actually. So both natural, continuous, and geological processes that produce relief features on the earth's surface, and the movement begin with erosion and end with deposition. So when movement, because erosion is moving of sediments from one location to a new location, and ending that location means depositing those sediments is called deposition. Like here, first, weathering means, here you can see weathering of rock. Weathering means breaking down because of water, ice, wind, animal, plant. Then they are moving into a new location, which is called, this movement of sediment is called erosion. It can be because of water, ice, gravity, wind, and again these are the movement of sediments. Then these sediments are dropping into the new location, which forms sand dunes, delta, formation of island, right? Which is
Yeah.
called deposition. So erosion and deposition. The four main type of erosions are these. Okay, abrasion occurs when pebbles grind against the riverbank and bed, and it create a sandpaper effect. Then hydraulic action is the sheer force of the water as it slams against the riverbank, and air become trapped in the riverbank, and the bed crack cause the rock to break apart. Then solution, When seawater dissolves certain rock type, this is referred as solution. Then alteration occurs when the sea transport the rock and these rocks collide. As a result, they disintegrate, they become more rounded and smaller. Okay, because
Okay.
of the energy of waves. They are usually take place around the river bank. So water erosion, the most important natural erosion agent is moving water. And like coastal areas or coastal erosion is caused primarily by the sea waves because they have lot of force, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
disintegrate. Yeah. And then hydraulic pressure is these waves, the impact of waves, they strike the shore and they cause weathering and grinding and rubbing away by sand dunes and pebbles. Um, and then wave impact and hydraulic actions are typically the most damaging to man-made coastal features like breakwaters and moles. Then glacial erosion, it occurs in two ways. So abrasion of surface material as the ice grind over the ground. Much of the abrasive action is due to debris embedded in the ice along its base, and mm, the eroded material is transported until it is deposited or the glacier melts, whichever comes first. Then wind erosion.
Mm-hmm.
Wind has significant impact on the erosion of rock. You can see this shape. It is formed because of wind erosion. Okay, and it also forms sand dunes that are not held together and protected by vegetation. This section erode material through the removal of small loose particles. Okay, the loose soil or particles, they are eroded by wind, right? Then deposition, it occurs when whatever is transporting sediment, it can no longer hold them. So it is the process of sediments by water or wind. Deposition, so wind and water, they can slow and lose their ability to transport large sediments, right? Which require a lot of energy to hold. So water moves more
Okay.
slowly on shallow slopes like valley floors or of mountains. So these are the gravel sized sediments. Then there are some sand grains. Then these tiny particles are clay sized particles. So there is a slope which is decreasing velocity of stream flow, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can I do the crossword?
Yeah, let me first summarize, then we will come
Sure.
back to that. Okay, so
One.
yeah, so what we talked about is that on these features, uh, these processes, weathering, erosion and deposition, they can form a new landform, right? Sediment weathering is just breaking of rock into smaller pieces, and when it move to new location, that is called erosion. Deposition of these pieces is called deposition, right? And it can be done by